Hello and welcome back to Cooking for the Yum of It. If you are watching this episode, that means I finally figured out what was wrong and I fixed the technical difficulties I had last week when I tried to present this particular episode. Today I will be making hamburgers à la Francaise, a French-style hamburger I found in the Julia Child The French Chef cookbook. So let's get started. Now the first thing we need to do, step one, is we need to saute in 2 tablespoons of butter some finely diced onion. Now you sprinkle like the little drops of water just to know, as I've said on many occasions before, when the pan has reached the correct temperature. When the droplets of water boil away, you check one more time, and when they sizzle immediately, it's reached the correct temperature. We'll be doing this on a high heat. And I need to soften that butter, so I'm going to put it there so I can get a little bit warmer. Okay, it's just about ready, I think. Yep, it's done. So we take our 2 tablespoons of butter. And we swirl that around in our pan. And even though it's just butter, it smells fantastic. You want it to swirl and swirl. And once the butter melts and stops foaming, but before it goes brown, we add our onion. And we cook this until the onions have gone translucent. And we want to make sure the smoke alarm doesn't go off, even though there's not a lot of smoke rising from this. But better safe than sorry, because that noise is so annoying. I'd like to thank all of my subscribers and other viewers, by the way. I've been getting a few nice comments. Not that any have been posted on the actual video, but I've been receiving emails and direct messages and actually a postcard, post-it note from one of the managers of the apartment complex I live in. And that was very nice to hear. Now, I've been practicing my flipping, so having the courage of my convictions, yay! And more courage, well, a little bit of courage. Yeah, practice makes perfect. Okay. I think that's just about right. So I am going to turn off the burner and we will move on. Now in a large mixing bowl, I want to take your 85% lean hamburger, let me see, how much was that I put in there? Don't worry, nothing broke. Sorry. My 2 tablespoons of ground beef. You can also use suet or marrow but if you don't have that, butter works just fine. Now we add 1 egg. We add the pre-cooked onion. And we add our seasoning of salt, pepper, and thyme. And we mush all that together. So mushy. Now I'm using the 85% because that's what Julia always recommended. It's not as fatty as the 80% lean, but it's also not as dry as the 90% lean. It's a delicate. It's in the sweet spot. Enough fat to be juicy and tasty, but not so much that it'll stop your heart. Okay. Oh my. Now if you'll excuse me for a second, I need to clean my hands before I go further. I have washed my hands, so the hands are not dirty, but I don't want to really touch my camera until I've managed to clean off some of this hamburger, because now it's time to reposition my camera and get everything ready for the cooking. So you're going to be looking at hamburger for a second. As I wash and dry. Now, you take half a cup of flour and we form, sorry, I should have done this here so you can see me. We form our burgers and we just take that. Gently brush off the excess. You set that aside until you've got all your burgers done. Now, depending on how big you make your burgers, this should make about 4 to 6 hamburgers. Making sure I was in camera range there. What I'd like to do, I keep mentioning this as well, is if I had the money, I know quite a few people who are who do filming and stuff like this for a living, and I could ask them to be my camera person, and they could be the person I talk to while I'm doing this. You know, they ask a question about the recipe or the process, and I answer. That would be fun, I think. I mean, I can't afford anything like that right now, but if I did, it'd be reasonable expense, I think. And now I need to wash my hands again to get all the flour off. So, I'll see you in a second. Now, we'll bring up the heat on another pan. We need a nice, big, thick, heavy skillet. Bring it up to temperature. You can turn that off for a moment. Okay, that should be good. Now we're going to add 1 tablespoon of butter and another of oil. This is good quality extra virgin olive. Now this part is more of an art than a science, how to figure out how you like your burgers cooked. But I'm going to cook mine for about 3 to 4 minutes on each side, which should give us a nice medium to medium well. Burgers are a little bit too big. Only was able to fit 3 of them into the skillet, but that's okay. Also remember to keep a little bit of extra oil on hand in case the oil in your skillet evaporates away. And also never press down on them. I know a lot of people will do that because they think it makes it cook faster, and it may make it cook faster, but it also squeezes out the moisture and gives you a dry burger. And who wants a dry burger? Really? So it's probably a good idea to turn the fan back on. So we've got about 3 minutes before I need to flip the burger, so let's skip ahead. Now it's time to flip our burgers. Okay, looking good so far. That one got a little dark, but that's okay. You could probably use a little bit more oil. And we cook for another 4 minutes, and we should have a nice medium to medium well. And we can move on. You see here, I don't know if you can see that, I'm going to try to zoom in. See the, I forget what it's called, but it's not exactly blood. I remember one of the video on YouTube I like to watch, her name is Alana. She mentioned what it was, but I can't recall what she said it was. And I'm pretty sure Julia probably told me said what it was as well. But anyway, that just means that the meat is cooking and the juices are expanding, and it's going to be so tasty. Remember, do not press down. That's, if you do, that's the moisture that would be coming out of the burger. Too much moisture coming out. And like I said, who wants a dry burger? You want juicy, you want flavor. You want something that's going to dance on your tongue and make you think, my God, this is the best burger I've ever eaten. I made this dish last week, although instead of ground beef I used lamb. It was just too good of a deal to pass up at the grocery outlet. But I'm using hamburger this time. Okay, I'm going to start to get it ready. When it's done, I'm going to put it in this nice little serving platter here. But we're not quite there yet. It's got about another minute and a half. I'm doing tilting the pan back and forth. My stove is not exactly level, and this makes sure I get all the oils and juices to get them as evenly distributed as possible. Now, I don't have a barbecue, but I am wondering what these would taste like if I barbecued them out on a grill. Something to think about for the future, if I'm ever in a position to do so. Cook outdoors, I mean. I'm always in a position to think. I don't let anyone tell me different. There are some who think they can judge me and think they have power over me, so time to take these out. Okay, let's move this so you can see. Oh my. Okay, now I'm going to take this, the juice, the oil and the butter that's in there now, I'm going to drain that. I'm going to add fresh butter and fresh oil for the last burger. Okay, let's do the last burger, because I made them too big and thick. But what can I say? I like them big, I like them thick. So let's just skip ahead to when everything is done. Now, it is time to prepare the hamburger buns. Now what I've done is, I've lightly coated them with some mayonnaise. And when the pan is ready, I'm going to toast these on a medium-high heat until they've reached the desired level of toastiness that I prefer. It takes a little bit longer when you're not doing it at a very high heat. To get the pan at the right temperature. Always make sure when you're doing this, by the way, to use a nice, a very good non-stick pan. This, I believe, is Rachel Ray. I got it from Amazon. Now, just be very careful so you don't burn your fingers. If you don't use the right kind of pan, the bun will stick, and you don't want that. Definitely don't want that. I usually wait about a minute, and then I check the toastiness. And if it's ready, I eat. If it's not, I let it toast a little bit more. That's something that you have to decide for yourself. Okay, let's take a look. It's starting, but not quite there yet. Remember, be very careful so you don't burn your fingers. That's why I'm switching back and forth, because when the hand gets too hot, it's time to move on to the next one. Right now I'm thinking wax on, toast off, toast on, toast off. Okay, maybe a little bit longer. Okay, that's pretty good. So now I've done my bottom, now I'm going to do my top. You can also do it this way. Toast on, toast off, toast on, toast off. Yeah, I like that movie. Karate Kid, the original, with Ralph Macchio and Pat Morita. Of course, if I had a grill, it would have the grill lines when I was done. Okay, let's take a look. Yeah, that's fine. And now let's get everything ready and it's time to eat. And now I get to eat. My reward. Mmm. 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 It's a little bit closer to medium, still a bit pink inside, but it's excellent burger. And like I said, I prefer medium rare to medium myself, but how you cook your burger, that's entirely up to you, how long you want to cook it, how done you want it. So anyway, that's my episode for for today. Hamburgers à la Francaise. I hope you get a chance to I hope you enjoyed watching the video. If you did, please like down below, subscribe if you haven't already. Feel free to comment, and always remember, until next time, eat and enjoy.